Patricia, you nailed it. You know, it's all about that control, domination, and subjugation of women within the system. And when we have all these content creators trying to reinforce these traditional values, it's all because they are working within the patriarchy. Like Patricia mentions, homesteading or childbearing is not seen as work within this system because it's not tied to a paycheck. That's why as a woman, even if you stay at home and you're the hyper productive being you want to be to feel validated by others, your work is always going to be seen as less than of a man. We also see this very clearly in female dominated professions, which are usually the less paid and the most self-sacrificing ones, such as nursing, teaching, therapists, social workers, dental hygienists, secretaries, and you name it. There's so many, but those professions are always less paid than other male-dominated industries like finance industry, the technology industry, which are all male-dominated. In the patriarchy, women are always going to be seen as second-class citizens. And that's why I'm always going to have a big issue with organized religion, because the people within these communities are the ones that are trying to advance this agenda of traditional values. And the majority of these religious groups are actually targeting the online space and are bringing and recruiting all these young content creators who are beautiful and who can romanticize this life in order to spread their word. And that's why we have a big increase of Mormonism or even content creators within the Mormon church who are beautiful, by the way, here in the online space, because they're trying to lure in those youngsters to continue their traditions. That's why we see so many evangelicals here as well. So I know a lot of you think you're aware of the content that you absorb, but there's a bigger agendas happening right now. And a lot of those traditionalists and religious content creators have invaded the aesthetic content space. It's all about that focus on romanticizing and seeing everything as clean and pure and easy and beautiful. And when you focus on being an aesthetic content creator without talking too much on camera, you're not exposing the real you. You don't need to share your thoughts or your opinions so people don't know a lot about you. They just love what they see. And in a world that is highly burned out because of economic troubles and political instability, people are looking to escape their lives. And aesthetic content is what helps people romanticize something that they currently don't have. That's why it's so appealing. So a lot of these religious content creators that preach traditional values are very, very smart. And they have a business strategy behind their videos. And there's a reason only a few of them have reached heights or a lot of volume and following. Those are the scariest ones because they actually know what they're doing. I know a lot of people say, oh, no le casco a eso, oh, por favor. Not everyone has an agenda. People, I need you to open your eyes because some of them do have an agenda. And then going back to, of course, seeing housework as free labor, what just grinds me a little bit always is that, we have a lot of women, not all of them, who decide, especially the privileged one. That's another topic that we need to discuss because not everyone has the privilege to stay at home, right? So these privileged women that decide to stay at home are pretty much trying to advance this agenda of traditional values by overworking and being self-sacrificing and being okay with free labor. And these are the women who always complain and talk bad about the feminist movement, and also they love talking about how much they love their children. That's the reason they stay, because money is not that important to them. And it's interesting to see how, without even noticing, they are exploiting themselves and they're not creating worth within themselves, because when they uphold that traditional model because of their family, the love for Jesus, or the love for their husbands, they're also devaluing their work and their skill set and their talents. And I don't think a lot of them realize that. So they are part of withholding the patriarchy. That's why they're so convinced they're doing this great duty and service to God and to the country, because they have been convinced to think that way, to keep supporting that model. And I always say this. One of the things that obviously that came out of the feminist movement that is very important is the importance of choice within each of us. Like as women, we deciding what to do. If we want to stay in the house, stay in the house. If you want to work, go work. If you want to do both, go ahead and do that. And I've always respected women's choices, right? Like I've had several conversations with friends of mine who was more cost effective to stay at home. And we're talking about lawyers, engineers, like successful women, educated women that decided to stay at home because it was more cost effective, because of the issues of the cost of childcare, which that's another topic for another day because that's crazy. But it was their choice to stay at home. And I'm okay with that. I always ask my friends, if you want to stay at home, do it for you. I don't want to hear that your husband told you to stay. However, another thing that I always question is how much of that decision is actually yours, or how much of that decision has been because you have been socialized to think that way. Because the majority of us, of course, when we are born, you enter in a specific household that has certain beliefs. Your parents come with certain beliefs of religion beliefs, if atheism, whatever happens in your household, political inclinations, societal perceptions. So we get born in households that already have a predetermined way of seeing the world. And we get raised in a certain way in order to be socialized to see the world similar to them. So it takes a lot of unschooling and critical thinking to take a step back and realize what exactly are your thoughts and what exactly are the thoughts of your family, and separate them. And I think the majority of us don't get the chance in this society to take solitude and reflection on what is really our value system, because of the way this world works, that you're always kind of going without actually stopping to smell the roses. So I feel the majority of these women have been socialized to think a certain way. So for them, it's like, oh, that's what's next, and that's what we're supposed to do. And also I see a lot of people playing in the comfort, and because they don't want to look like the bad person or someone who is rebellious, they just do as they are told, because we have been conditioned to be people pleasers as well. And I'm going to stop the conversation because as you can see, just with one comment, I can try to go deeper, and I'll get lost in my own thoughts. So that being said, do you agree with some points I made in the video? Do you have anything to add or anything to expand to my commentary? Comment below in the comments.